Hello, everybody. We'll wait a second, see if anybody jumps in. Ooh. All right. Well, let's hop right in. I don't know if anybody's in here because I can't really tell. Let me see. Is anybody here? Audience. Okay. Not sure if anyone. Here we go. Don't know if anyone is here, but we'll see what happens. I'm still having that technical difficulties with the YouTube guys. Yeah, I spent the whole afternoon working on the laptop to try to catch up on some paperwork that I got to do, and some to use it for tonight also. And unfortunately, it's still giving me issues. So I'm probably going to have to get one of those cameras, a standalone camera like this on the phone, and then use it for YouTube to stream live on the YouTube channel separately until I can get the whole paid service going for the Stream Guardian or something like that. But anyway, let's hop right in. Good evening, everybody. My name is Angel Guerra, and I am a manager of customer service out of Miami, Florida. Okay. I'm an EAS 19, and my goal for this entire show, live broadcast, is to basically teach those in the Postal Service about policy and expose certain unfortunate circumstances that are happening in the institution. Okay. But before I jump into all of that, allow me to cut that out. Oh yeah. Yes, Scipio. I'm gonna read you guys a disclaimer because I kind of have to, because I'm the redheaded stepchild in the room, and unfortunately I have to read these disclaimers every meeting. Okay, let's go ahead. The following live stream is for educational and informational purposes only. Nothing in this broadcast constitutes legal advice. All statements are based on publicly available information, official government policies, and personal experience as allowed under federal whistleblower protections. Any opinions expressed are my own and do not represent the United States Postal Service or any government agency. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, guys. Now, today, I wrote a little script for myself. You missed the beard? Oh, yeah, she's real happy. The wife is definitely happy. But, yeah, I'm hoping to talk about some things that are affecting a lot of people. I got a viewer who messaged me this afternoon from Puerto Rico. This afternoon, she messaged me. Obviously, we don't give names out here. We don't do none of that here. But I did tell her that I was going to dive into her situation because, believe it or not, it's kind of parallel to what I'm going through. So that way I can help her make a decision on how she would like to move forward. Again, with all my advice, guys, remember, verify your information because, I'm not perfect. And, I don't want you guys to think, oh, Angel lied to me. No, I'm going to tell you what the postal answer is, and then I'm going to tell you the Angel answer. That's usually how I do things. And those that have worked with me before in the past know that that's how I roll. Kind of tell you the postal answer, and then I tell you the Angel answer. And then from there, you guys make your determination on how you want to do what, when, and how. In any case, tonight we're diving deep into the realities many postal employees face behind the scenes. Issues involving OWCP, the CA1, CA2, CA7 process, misuse of LWOP, denial of rights under federal law, and yes, tragedies inside the USPS that no one wants to talk about. That's what we have on the agenda for today, for tonight. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about, OWCP. Those of you that work for the federal government know that OWCP, for those that work in the private sector, OWCP for us, federal employees, is workers' compensation. So you get hurt on the job, you apply for benefits through workers' compensation. We have a thing through wage and hour called, what do you call that? The OWCP. Okay. It's just acronyms that the agencies give it. When we apply for workers' compensation, it's not through our organization. And, you know, like in the private sector, you have like an insurance company and you deal with the company and the insurance company. And then they usually pay out whatever it is they're going to pay out. Then they turn around and they pro rata the thing. Yes, e-comp, Tina. Yeah. So for us, we have e-comp, like Tina just put in the chat there. E-comp basically for us is workers' comp. That's our workers' comp. So the reason why I brought e-comp up is because the viewer that wrote to me this afternoon wanted some clarification on her options on what she can do, because she's facing the same issues I'm facing. And I kind of told her I would talk about the workers' comp and go into it a little bit tonight for you guys. And I would do it on the channel. That way everybody gets an understanding of what's going on and how it applies to them. Those that work in the federal government. And every agency is a little bit different, but OWCP, e-comp is the same across the board for all the federal agencies as far as I know. It's the same application, the same process, the same everything. So without further ado, I'm going to dive into CA1. Traumatic injury. One event, one shift. Something happens suddenly, like a fall, dog bite, you get a stroke, lifting injury. Employees have usually 30 days to file. They provide the continuation of pay for 45 days if it's accepted. Unless you work for my agency, they find ways not to pay you like they're supposed to. They kind of nickel and dime you, or they try to blame you for everything. Well, you wasn't working safely. It's your fault. We don't owe you nothing. You know, it's an unfortunate circumstance. You could be the best employee, 20 years on the job, never got hurt, and the moment you get hurt, you're the biggest dirtbag ever. I hate to break it to you, but that's just the way it is. Sorry. In a perfect world, we have honorable people and everyone works together to build society in a more productive way. But unfortunately, no, not in the Postal Service. They don't do that. In fact, some of them get off on hurting people. Well, that's a subject for another day. CA2. This is a very famous one. Occupational illness. It's not sudden. It's something that develops over time. An example, stress-induced conditions. Well, those of us that work in the post office understand that this stress will kill you. And I'm one that has PTSD now because of this job. So I am telling you, it is a legal thing. Mental health is a legal thing. Don't let the Postal Service tell you, no, that's not a workers' comp claim. It is a workers' comp claim. It has been for some time now. So, CA2, not sudden, develops over time. Example, stress-induced conditions, anxiety, depression, receptive injuries, toxic exposure, hostile work environment, CA2. So you can file whenever you become aware that the job caused or aggravated the condition. So that basically means you can be fined today. And if your supervisor in the middle of the workroom floor belittles you in front of the entire staff, and then everybody starts laughing at you and you catch a panic attack and you grab your chest, that's kind of when you were aware that you caught a panic attack. That's a receptive injury. That's a hostile work environment. All those things, anxiety, stress, will trigger a mental breakdown in the individual. Some individuals don't recover from that. Some individuals, like myself, have to go that extra mile because the organization that we all work for, unfortunately, this is across the federal government, is doing this dirtbag stuff now, unfortunately. I'll give you an example. One of my closest friends, I'm not going to say their name. They're in a wheelchair. They represent their union in their federal agency that they work for. Do you believe that these dirtbags, I won't mention the agency here, but those dirtbags try to put this person who's in a wheelchair in a storage closet so they can interview candidates, union members and stuff. And there's no ventilation in the computer storage, whatever they call it, room. There's no emergency exit. So if a fire breaks out behind him, you think he's going to be able to roll out of there on time? In an electric wheelchair? Are you freaking serious? This is the kind of abuses we're going through now in the federal government. And I hope my superiors are watching, because you know what? All eyes are on you guys now. Stuff keeps happening. You know why stuff keeps happening? That's called karma. It's called karma, and karma always collects. So yeah, they wanted to stick my friend who's in a wheelchair, who works for the federal government, who's a union steward, in an emergency situation. How the hell is he going to get out of there? A storage closet. This person is disabled and you want to put him in a storage closet? How dare you? But this is the way management thinks. They don't care. And I'm ashamed to even call myself a manager sometimes, because it's like, I'm not that way. I have a heart. You in a wheelchair? Really? And they're going to put you in a closet, a storage closet? Believe it or not, that's CA2. Because that's a hostile work environment. Can cause depression, anxiety, stress now. Because now they're fucking with your pay now. They're fucking with your livelihood. You understand? That causes a CA2 occupational illness. So when you guys call out, it don't matter what they say. Oh, no, you can't call out. You can't call out occupational. It's not a workers' comp. That's a lie. They're lying to you. You can. And when you guys call out, you call out CA2, medical condition. It says medical occupational, something like that. It's option number 2 when you do your leave request. Let them go in there and change your time. That's what dirtbags do. Let them be dirtbags. You follow the policy, because you know what? In the end, it's going to cost them more than money. Trust me. Yeah. I agree, Jesse. Let them do what they're going to do, because they're going to do it anyway. It doesn't matter if you get angry. It doesn't matter if you curse. It don't matter if you like go postal, like they like to say. Unfortunately, I hate that terminology, but that's what it is. What do you think they created it for? because of people like these individuals doing the things that they're doing. Mental health is a serious issue. You know, I used to love my job. My wife can tell you, I used to love my job. I took the position so I could help people. Then I get here and it's like, whoa, what the hell is that? Anyway, I'll leave you guys with that for interpretation. But that's CA2, okay? CA7, wage loss compensation. This is your gray area, okay, guys? So wage loss compensation, you kind of use that when the COP ends or you have a traumatic injury that didn't qualify for the COP or occupational illness cases that are still pending. And this kind of works. Yes, I agree, Jesse. Mental health does. It is a serious thing. And I wish, men's health especially, because men carry a lot of weight on their shoulders. It's hard to be a man sometimes. Women say it's hard to be a woman, and I definitely concur, because I wouldn't want the blood rolls anytime. Keep that shit. But you know what? It is hard to be a man, because you have to get up and sometimes do things you don't want to do to feed your family. Keep that in mind, guys. Don't be so hard on yourself. And I got to take my advice. My best friend Scipio put me on this meditation thing, and I've been kind of trying to meditate more and more frequently. I did it twice today so far, and I'm going to do it again before I go to bed. Mental health is important. Take care of your health, especially if you got kids, man, or if you want kids. That's very important, because that mental health will actually affect you in other ways. Here's a little tidbit about me. I used to work in the medical field for 10 years. In New York, I was an anesthesia technician. That was one of my favorite jobs. Oh, I loved it. And circumstances happened, and I lost that position. And I kind of thought, fuck, my life is over. Like, I really wanted to do this, and I don't even know what the hell I want to do anymore. And my wife encouraged me to keep pushing. Then I found myself in the post office, and I says, man, this is it right here. 7 or so years later, wow, I never thought I'd be saying I'd be medically retiring. So never thought I'd be saying this. Keep that in mind, guys. Wage loss compensation. Okay, so the way this works is very simple. And this is kind of where the agency gets over on you for the most part, because in order to qualify for a CA7, you have to go to your doctor every 2 weeks, and you have to get a doctor's note that you're incapacitated for those 2 weeks. And no, they will not accept an indefinite letter, to my knowledge. Verify what I'm saying. Remember, I always tell you guys that if I say something, do your due diligence and verify. But yeah. So if you're sitting at home on unpaid leave, how do you go to the doctor? And the company knows this. The organization knows this. That's why they do it. You understand? And again, I said this a couple of days ago, and I'm going to say it again. Not all managers are bad. Not everybody in headquarters is bad. They are honorable people working in the organization, but they don't outnumber the dirtbags. And it's very unfortunate. If you got yourself a mentor in the organization and they know a lot and and you see they work with integrity and they do the right thing, stick with that person. Learn what you can from them, because this is kind of like on the job training. Nobody's going to teach you nothing here. That's why my wife and my friends and Lino and them, they convinced me to start doing this, because I'm in a unique position where, yeah, I can't interfere operational wise, but I can instruct you guys and help you arm yourselves with knowledge. And that's my intention, to do the right thing. I don't know how long this rodeo is going to go for. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, this is going to last forever. It may not. But for now, I'm going to do what I can to help my brothers and sisters in that situation that I'm in, but that are still actually working and have to deal with the headaches and the anxiety and the stress and the chest pains. You know, I still get my chest pains, believe it or not. I got one this morning. And then on top of dealing with this work stuff, you have family life too. You know, you got family situations you got to deal with, you know, outside of work, where you live, your neighbors, kids, family, outside family, because you know you have inside family and outside family. Those are all triggers to your mental health. So take care of yourselves out there, okay? Don't be too hard on yourselves, men. Women, you too, because some of y'all women are doing mom and dad roles right now. Take care of yourselves, okay? Take care of yourselves, do the right thing, okay? So, to reiterate, let's go over this again. So CA1, CA2, CA7, OWCP. Again, CA1 is basically a one-off thing. Dog bit you in the ass, you bit you in the ass cheek, you gotta go to the ER. You caught a stroke, God protect you guys that you don't. You lift and you forgot to bend, or you lift and you did bend and you still got hurt. It happens. So basically what it is OWCP will compensate you for up to 45 days if they accept your claim. Okay? CA2, I stress this very hard because there are a lot of us going through this right now. Occupational illness. I don't care what the manager says. If they cause this, you file it. You look at me when I say this. If you feel at any time you became aware that the organization caused or aggravated your condition, you file a CA2 immediately, and when you call out, yes, I agree. Correct. I was actually going to get to that. Tina. Yeah, because that's what happened with me, and I was actually going to get to that. Yeah. MD. Correct. Tina's right. She's absolutely right. I was actually going to get to that at the end of the whole OWCP thing. Okay? So I'm going to use myself as an example. During my reasonable accommodation, there was a plethora of people. I went over this before, but I'm not going to go into it too much because I've already talked about it in my other videos. You can go back and look at that. No, you're good, Tina. Don't worry about it. Thank you. I went into my RA meeting. It was supposed to be the OHS nurse that wrote to me and my boss. Those are the only two people I knew about that was going to come. And I got there and there was like 10 other people there or 8 other people and legal. They never told me they were bringing any legal lawyers in. They never told me about my rights as an American. They violated my rights there too. You understand? And they keep doing this stuff because they get away with it. But they're not going to get away with it this time because I already said something. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming for you. But anyway, moving on. So my doctor, who's a doctor, went to college for like 14 years to become a doctor, was being questioned by a nurse. You know, the OHS nurse and the owner, the nurse administrator. Again, that title, nurse administrator. It doesn't say medical doctor administrator. It's a nurse administrator, which ergo, she can't sign off on that. She cannot overrule what a doctor wrote. But these two nurses, along with my supervisor, my boss, and all these other people in labor, decided it was okay to violate my rights. And then the jobs that they did offer me were jobs that they knew I could not do. The biggest slap in my face after all my career and having a perfect record was being told, well, you can go back to craft. Go back to craft, what? And lose everything? Because that's what would happen. I'd lose everything. Not to regurgitate the past, but if you think about that, that's fucked up. For something I didn't even do. And I know I didn't do it because I already know the truth. There's that reminder again. Remember that reminder I said I remind you all the time? I didn't do it, and I know you did it. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming. But anyway, back to the fun stuff. So they thought it was okay to violate my Rehabilitation Act rights and all my other civil rights and my liberties and stuff like that. Because again, no one's ever challenged them before until I got there, I guess. Well, I'm sorry your administration is weak and you had no one challenge you before, but I'm from New York and we challenge everything. Not the New York now. That's disgusting. I'm talking about the old New York. Back in the 80s, you know, that New York, the good New York. Yeah, so not an MD spoke up against a nurse. The nurse made a determination. Yes, Scipio, made a determination on my RA. 2 nurses and the labor manager, the district manager. Again, no doctors. These are all just 2 nurses and non-medical personnel. Thought it was okay to overrule what my MD wrote down and deny my RA, and then said, I don't qualify as a disabled American according to the Rehabilitation Act. Well, fuck, show me your degree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. That's like a virgin trying to be a porn star. That's kind of what happened here. So, without getting too vulgar, because I don't believe in that, yeah. So anyone, guys, CA2, that's why I brought up my situation, because that applies to CA2. Whether they like it or not, that's what it is. CA7, again, if you want to get paid every 2 weeks, you got to go to the doctor. And then you got to get a doctor's note, and then you got to send it to a wage and hour or a OWCP. And then on top of that, then they tell the manager, okay, they're incapacitated. You got to cut them a check. But here's the thing that they don't tell you. If your case gets rejected, all that money you got, you have to pay it back now. So is the CA7 really worth it? I leave that to the individual situation. For me, my wife and I, we were okay. We were nervous, but we worked very well together planning our finances, and we found a way out right away. And I give it to my wife because she's not only beautiful, but she is smart as hell. Second honors in college. I lucked out the second time. Yeah. So we worked on it, and I'm not too poor intelligence myself, and we were able to figure things out and kind of move forward and protect a couple things we had. Yes, we had to make cuts. So if this is the route you guys are going to go, especially to that viewer out there in Puerto Rico, if this is the route you're going to go, make sure your finances are covered before you jump down that rabbit hole. Because if you jump down a rabbit hole, that's what it is, a rabbit hole. It just keeps going. The only time it becomes a regular hole with light on the other end is when you prepare. So this goes for you guys. Just make sure you're preparing, okay? Very important. They usually pay between 66 and 75% of what you make. It all depends on your organization and the agreement they have with OWCP. Those wages are tax-free though. They're tax-free, but here's the thing. You still have to pay those taxes later at the end of the year. They don't tell you that though. They just don't take it now. So keep that in mind. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is an interesting one we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the ELM for the Postal Service and the law that the USPS continues to violate. And this is across the board. This isn't just me. This is anyone that's this is anyone that's going through stuff. Thank you, Fred Scipio. I appreciate it. Anyone going through violations of the ELM, it could be very frustrating and stressful. Case in point, myself. So I'm going to speak to you in a third person perspective so you can understand the situation and what do you do when that situation involves you personally. Okay? So a postal manager was placed on a continuous LWOP despite having a valid FMLA certification, a pending reasonable accommodation request, a documented medical condition by an MD, not a nurse, an MD, okay, a legally protected OWCP occupational illness filing by a doctor, not a nurse, okay? In this case, the Postal Service repeatedly coded full days of LWOP in lieu of sick, even when the employee had medical certification and federal protections. Now, I'm not the only one this happened to. This happened to many of my viewers that are on here now, okay? I'm going to tell you what they're violating. This is going to go up on the YouTube channel because, again, I'm having problems doing both for some reason. It works, and then at the last minute when I try to do it, it's just, I guess it's just meant for me to focus on you guys one at a time. So that's what we're going to do. But yeah, I'm going to tell you what they're violating. So if you don't get it now, it'll be on the channel probably tomorrow or the day after. Okay? They're violating the Reasonable Accommodation Handbook. The code number is EL-307. The United States Postal Service must engage in the interactive process, provide interim accommodations, not delay the RA process, not force unpaid leave as a substitute for accommodation. When an employee is forced into LWOP instead of being accommodated, that is a violation. I don't care what they tell you, they're breaking the law. End of. Okay, so again, EL-307, Reasonable Accommodation Handbook. This is their own policy. So here's an example of that. When I was still working, the postmaster had me and all the other managers and supervisors in the city go to this mandatory headquarters training for attendance control. Mandatory. Everybody, man, you need to go. Mandatory. Mandatory, blah, 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 blah. Bah humbug. And I sat in this class, and the lady in HR, the HQ lady, not HR, but HR was there too, but the lady in HQ who was giving the class, first thing she said was, when someone tells you they got FMLA, you put the FMLA in and you let it ride. You don't touch the FMLA. Suffice it to say, I sat there in the class. I took the entire class, so they can't say I never did because I did take it. Okay, there's documentation. Remember that thing we talked about, the glass house. Documentation never lies. People do. Paperwork don't lie. People do. Okay? And this woman, because it was a woman, turned around and said, oh, you know, it's going to cost you $2 million. A postal employee, a postal manager was sued civilly for $2 million because they violated the FMLA rights of an employee. Do you got $2 million? And the whole class is like, no. And they're like, don't touch the FMLA then. Don't. If you got $2 million laying around, then you go on ahead and you touch it. And the first thing these people did was touch my FMLA. See that smirk? Because I sat there and I heard it. And I know the person that was giving the presentation. And I have the date written down and the time and the location and everything. $2 million each. Are you listening now? Are my superiors listening now? I hope you are. Anyway, more fun stuff. So yeah, when they touch your FMLA, guys, it's a violation of federal law. They're not supposed to do it. But yet here we are across the nation, managers and supervisors are being told, touch the FMLA. Mark them LWAP. I don't care. My own manager said in front of me to another manager, I know I'm going to lose the grievance, but I don't give a shit. I don't care. They know they're putting these disciplines in, or these progressive disciplines in, out of step, which is a violation of Article 15 of your guys' carrier contracts, and Article 8, I believe it is. It's been a while since I read the contract. They're violating the clerk contracts. They're violating the carrier contracts. They're just violating contracts left and right. They don't give a damn. So if no one says anything, it's going to continue. And yes, I'm going to say something, because you know what? What they're going to do, keep me home forever? Sooner or later, the word's going to get out what you're doing. Sooner or later, they're going to know about the collusion and everything you guys did. Uh-oh, they just found out. See how easy that was? And on a live stream, too. So yeah, guys, remember, they touch your FMLA, document everything in triplicate. Yeah. Yeah, they don't care. I agree, Scipio. They don't care. It's terrible. Since when did we stop being human? Really? These people got kids just like me. Okay? I'll let you explain to your kids why you can't buy them nothing soon. Moving on. All right. So here's the things that they love to violate, which has to do with the FMLA thing we were just talking about, the handbook, the EL 307. You have ELM 513 and ELM 515. That's sick leave and FMLA. According to their own policy, the United States Postal Service cannot force LWAP in place of sick leave when an employee qualifies, deny sick leave with supporting medical documentation, retaliate for requesting FMLA or an RA. Those are things they love to do anyway. Coding LWAP in lieu of paid leave is a misuse of tax and violates federal sick leave law. So this isn't just Postal Service law. They're violating federal sick leave law now. The same law that applies to us. See, the Postal Service has this thing in their mind that they're untouchable, because they're quasi-government. They're not real government, but they're government. They're using the government to shield them from liability, but they're not a government agency. They're quasi-government. Now, according to Congress, they have us listed down as a public service. We are public servants. We're not a business, according to the Constitution. But according to the Postal Service, when you go into training, it's a business. We're a business. We're a business. They tell all their new people that in orientation that we're a business. So if we're a business and we're not federal, why are you hiding behind the federal government for? I know why. Because you like doing dirtbag shit and you don't want to get in trouble. I mean, it's just common sense. It's a no-brainer. I didn't even graduate college and I figured that one out. Something to think about, guys. We're not federal, but we are federal. See what I'm saying? And they abuse that. These people abuse that gray area. Don't let them abuse the gray area. Know your rights. Speak out. Document everything in triplicate. I don't care if your hand hurts from writing. Just keep writing, because it's going to save you one day. The moment you notice some weird shit, start writing. And if you get a chest pain because your supervisor, CA2, tell him Angel sent you. You're welcome. It's the least I can do is give you guys information to arm you. I got a letter the other day. I'm gonna see if I pull it up here. Matter of fact, yeah, I got a letter from a viewer indirectly, and I'm glad they sent that to me because I was having a fucked up day the other day. Chest was hurting. I was getting dizzy. Meditation wasn't working. Called Scipio up. Meditation wasn't working. Told him this shit don't work. He just stood quiet and laughed at me. He was expecting those angel emotions. And I can laugh about them now. I used to be embarrassed of who I was, but now I'm not embarrassed anymore because what I got a reason to be embarrassed about? It's who I am. You know? But yeah. Elm 513 and 515. They're not allowed to do that stuff. Yeah. They're not allowed to do it, but across the nation, they're doing it. It's a violation of federal law. It's going to catch up to them. It just takes one smart person to file it the right way. Then what are you going to do? Say my boss told me to do that? Yeah, that don't fly, homeboy. Homegirl. That don't fly. Interesting. So, we're going to move on to the next phase of this. Very important information. ELM 546 is reassignment from medical inability to perform. Okay? Excuse me. If an employee cannot work in their current environment due to a medical condition, the USPS must consider rehab and reassignment. USPS must provide temporary work if available. Delaying RA, in my case, for example, from July to September violates the law's requirement to act promptly. Again, delaying an RA, like what happened to me, from July to September violates the law's requirement to act promptly. They broke the law. Everything I'm reading here to you guys today is stuff that's happening to me. I'm just giving you that information. So every time they do dirtbag stuff to me, I'm just going to flip it into information and I'm going to give it back to you. And the reason why I'm doing that is so, God forbid, you're in this situation, you know the policy, you know what they're doing, you know how to counteract it, you know what paperwork to file, you know who to go to and who to talk to. And what steps to take. So you skip all the drama that I'm going through. Yeah. Yes, if you're very huge in HR, they don't like that. See, HR is real quiet. Nobody knows too much about them. They stay in their little cubicles and they type all this paperwork. But let me tell you, there is a thing called HR law. It is very, very sickening. You have HR law and corporate law. So each organization has their own policy. That's like the corporate law, right? So the ELM would be considered like corporate law, as an example. So ELM 546, reassignment for medical inability to perform, it's like corporate law. No, HR is not your friend, but they still have to follow the law. And this is what I'm getting to, Tina. They have to follow national and international law. So, if you can get HR to give you a wrister, then guess what? There it is. There's not a damn thing they can do. Patience is a virtue, and I've been learning it slowly. But yeah, they violated HR law. So guys, keep that in mind. Now we're going to move on. Next fun part. The Americans with Disabilities Act. or the Rehabilitation Act for short. It's also called the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. I've spoken about this before, but now in regards to what we're discussing tonight, I'm going to just touch on it just for those people that are new to the channel, new to the podcast, or those that have been here before but just forgot all about it. Just as a refresher. Refresher courses are actually a good thing, guys. Okay. 29 CFR subsection 1630-ADA/Rehabilitation Act. The United States Postal Service is violating federal civil rights law when they force an employee into an unpaid leave status. There's a couple of you guys that follow me that are going through that right now. I'm going through that too. So yeah, it's a violation of federal civil law. Okay. They failed to accommodate. That's another thing they did to me. And I've received messages from a few of you, and it's the same way. They delayed the interactive process. Here we go again. Raise my hand in the back. Some of you guys are going through that too. They retaliate after requests. They did that to me indirectly, but it's the same thing. So that's all a violation of federal civil rights law. Another thing that they do when they violate your federal civil rights law is when they have an RA process and they have lawyers there and they don't tell you they're going to have lawyers there so you can have a lawyer. That's a violation of your federal civil rights as an American citizen, innocent until proven guilty. If you're ever faced in that situation, remember less is more. They teach the supervisors that too. Less is more. So I'm teaching you guys the same thing. Less is more. I don't care what level of the organization you're in. The less you say, the better. If you're having issues with anyone, don't go around telling people in your job. Keep that shit to yourself. I'm going to talk real now. Keep it to yourself. Okay? The person you think is going to have your back will stick the dagger in it. It's happened to me. And I'm telling you, I know. Okay? Don't tell nobody nothing. Less is more. They interrogate you for anything, less is more. They're not, if you don't have a shop steward there, they can't force you into a meeting. They can't force you into an II. And if they force you into an II against your will, you can file an appeal. For management or EAS is an appeal. For the craft, carriers, clerks, maintenance, etc. You guys have what is called the grievance. You have a grievance process. EASs have an appeal process. We don't call it a grievance. We call it an appeal. Okay, keep that in mind. So yeah, that's something management loves to do. And again, I know I've said this already, but not all managers are that way. Okay, there are some honorable people in a fucked up situation, and I've been in that situation where I've had to give an II to somebody because another manager didn't know how to do it, or another person wrote it and they wanted me to do it. Yeah, I hate to say it. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Tina. Like, until your stuff is done, don't talk to nobody. Hello and goodbye. And if you could avoid the hello, avoid the hello. Not because you're being a jerk, but because you got to protect yourself, because you don't know who's on the payroll anymore. So just keep that in mind, guys, all right? They will manipulate your coworkers and tell them, I've heard stories. Take them in the back room. Oh, if we can get rid of this guy, man, I'll give you his shift. We can get rid of this girl, I'll put you on the window. Don't worry about it, I got you. Get rid of that carrier, I'll give you that beef right there, that route. You got that route right there. It's a sweet ass route, I'll give it to you. Management don't have that power. But they make pretend they do to get people to do what they want them to do. Everything has a selective process. Your guys have the bidding process. Management can't circumvent that, but they make pretend they can. Keep that in mind. All right. Segment 3. Okay. Here's an example of that LWOP thing we were talking about. Okay. 4 weeks of LWOP being coded every single day. Even on holidays, where a full-time regular employee should be paid, is coded now as LWOP. They just did that to me yesterday. They coded me, what was it, LWOP, holiday, reassignment or whatever. Managers don't work on non-delivery days that a city delivery manages. Who are these guys trying to fool? Yeah, I'm putting you on blast because you guys don't know what you're doing. Really? You think I don't pay attention to those little things? Man, you slow. Shake my damn head. I looked at it this morning and I said, there they go again. Dig. Dig. Y'all just digging your own grave, man. All right. I'm going to clarify something. Full-time regular employees, and some PTF employees, and PTR and full-time flexibles also. They don't work holidays unless there's something they have to do, like a clerk. Clerks most of the time have to work a holiday in distribution. So if you're on the window, your title is Sales and Services Distribution Associate. So guess what? You're going to be throwing parcels on a holiday. That's a given. Okay. Carriers, if you're a full-time carrier and you're not a CCA, you're not going to be working because that's technically not a delivery day. Okay. And that's why they have the tour supervisors for. The tour supervisors work on those holidays, not a manager. Managers don't work on those days. Management is considered administration. They're off. They're either off the day before, the day of, or the day after. But these individuals thought it funny to code my stuff holiday, reassignment, or resentment, or whatever. It basically meant that they're refusing to pay me the holiday. You cannot refuse to pay someone a federal holiday that they're entitled to. And I'm entitled to 11 holidays per year, per my Form 50. But they did it anyway. So, despite being an employee having medical documentation, active FMLA, and a pending reasonable accommodation, which should have been honored, but they denied it, because again, they're dirtbags. Okay? Basically, they marked me LWOP in lieu of sick. It means the system is refusing to pay. Well, I have no pay leave because they violated my rights during the RA process. I was supposed to be on administrative leave with pay, but they chose to burn my own leave. And at the time, I was learning. And now I dug into the policy like hardcore. So now I know what they did. And when I try to correct it, they didn't even bother fixing it. They left it alone. So now they're marking me LWOP, which caused issues with my medical insurance now. Now they want to cut my medical insurance because of them. So they're causing me undue hardship intentionally. And then they put a blemish on my record for LWOP. So I thought I was in trouble for delaying 2,000 packages. Now all of a sudden I'm in trouble for LWOP. But I'm FMLA protected, OWCP protected, and FERS protected because my FERS documentation is already in HR. Gotcha. Moving on. This violates ELM 513, violates FMLA coding rules, violates EL 307 because they're using LWOP as a barrier to accommodate. That's not an accommodation, that's a punishment. LWOP holiday replacement Federal holidays cannot be replaced with LWOP if employee is protected under FMLA or RA. But I have all that stuff. And they still did it. And I guess they thought I wasn't going to know or find out because I haven't said anything this whole time. Or maybe, like I said, because my boss did this before, he probably doesn't care. I'm glad you don't care. I'm glad you don't care. Because when your time comes, I'm not going to care either. I want you to know that. And the individual that caused all this by lying and blaming me for something they did, I'm not going to care about you either. Not one bit. Because y'all didn't care about my kid in the room. Y'all brought me down here with the illusion of doing the right thing. And you guys just did me in. Don't worry. Your time is coming. Anyway. So, I'm going to move on to current events because I think you guys had enough of policy for today. We had 2 tragic passings in our organization. It bothers me. One of those could have been, actually, they both could have been avoided, honestly, if you think about it. One guy was 30, the other guy was like 28, 26. What are we doing? These are kids, man. One of them was a military. You find this guy 6 to 8 hours later? Where the hell was the manager? Where was the supervisors? What were they doing? Flirting with the clerks in the office? What were they doing? Instead of walking the floor like they're supposed to. When I was a carrier supervisor, I did not stay in my office. I walked the whole floor, the whole station. I was always walking up and down, checking stuff. So what the hell were these guys doing in the plant in Michigan? Yeah. Yeah. I guess they were playing Bob the Builder. I mean, what the hell were they doing? Anyway. The other one was, according to what the report says, I haven't dived too much in that second one, but the other individual, unfortunately, he ran a stop sign in an LLV. Well, that was mistake number 1 for you carriers. Don't try to drag race in them damn things. They're terrible. Those LLVs are like 50 plus years old. They got no pickup anymore. They're terrible now. The door hinges come off. You know how many LLVs I had to call in for repair because the damn door fell off on the carrier while they were delivering mail? One of them, the wheel fell off too. Yeah, I mean, come on. One of them got outside the gate and the damn thing broke down right there in front of the damn office. And then we had to call a tow company because it's outside the gate now. So it has to go to the tow company. Instead of having our guys in VMF pick it up, we have to call an outside third-party pump company now to come get the damn thing just to drag it in over the line. We can't touch it. And then they wonder why they have no damn money. Seriously? Me and 4 other guys, we could have pushed that shit back in. No, we can't touch it. We gotta call it in. Now that carrier's sitting right here in the corner, not like literally, you go out the gate and you crack a left and it's right there. When I was in BV in Flagler, carrier's sitting there like 2 hours, 3 hours, and it's summertime. Because the damn thing broke down on the corner at the red light. And we had to get a tow company to pick it up and drag it in. Yeah. I'm mortified by all this stuff. It's crazy. But yeah, the gentleman ran the stop sign. And of course, as I said, those trucks are trash. I'm gonna call it how it is. They're they're no good anymore. We were supposed to get new trucks. And then Congress said, you know what? Now we're gonna have you sell the trucks and give us the money. So we could do what with that money? What? Give it to the war overseas? Give it to someone else that's not American? So you took from the Postal Service and from our brothers and sisters who needed that equipment to do their job. And you took the money away from them instead of buying them new gear, new trucks, new everything. Don't even get me started on those hand scanners because they suck. They're always breaking. What happened to technology, doing the right thing, involving, infrastructure, That's what the last guy promised, right? Infrastructure. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I don't know how much the stamp costs, but yeah. Then the next guy comes in, it's probably gonna be the same shit show. Wow. Guys, be careful in those LOVs. They're not sports cars. They're rear-wheel drive. They suck in the rain. They suck in the snow. They barely work in dry floor. There's no AC in them. These are things nobody talks about, but I'm going to talk about it. I don't care if they get mad at me anymore. Because they're mistreating my brothers and my sisters like crap. My carriers out there should have all the equipment they need to do their job correctly. Yeah, it's terrible. I'm not laughing either. I'm laughing because it's sarcastic laughing. I'm not really laughing at my brothers and sisters. I'm laughing at the situation because I was standing out there with them. Those that worked with me, yes, the fumes are terrible. I agree, Denor. Yes. And that's another thing. That's a CA1, if I'm not mistaken. We talked about that a little earlier. I believe that's a CA1, an injury, right? Traumatic injury. Well, if you're breathing in smoke, what do you think that is? Tragic. Sounds tragic to me. But wait a minute. You're triggering a CA2 now because you're getting anxiety because of the smoke and you're getting sick. There it is. CA1, CA2, see you later. So yeah, I mean, just keep that in mind, guys. Wow. I'm mortified by the things that have been happening. And the thing is, there's no oversight. Why is there no oversight? We lost two brothers. And if we're not careful, we're going to keep losing more. I had a carrier send me a video the other day. It was yesterday, as a matter of fact. They sent me a video. Another carrier in Puerto Rico sent me a video, right? Of them driving their LLV. The fucking speedometer doesn't even work right. So you know how the speedometer goes, like, I'm going to do it the opposite way because, like, okay, so when you're looking at it, it's the way my finger is and it's going this way, right? And then it goes down, right? So you're slow, then you're fast, and slow and fast, right? Well, in her fucking LLV, it's going like this. It's twitching like this on the bottom. It's not even going around. It's just stuck there on the bottom, doing this. And then she let go of the gas to show me, and it did it again, and it just went like this. The fucking shit wiggled like it was trying to tickle your butt or something. And these things are safe for you guys? Yeah, I don't get it. Yours did that too? You know, we laugh, but we laugh because it's like, that's all we could do is laugh because the people we tell this to, they ignore us. You know how many trucks I had to put in every day because of that same fucking thing? Wheels falling off, missing lug nuts, the fucking door fell off, the truck door don't go down, you know? How are we supposed to work in those conditions? Then these guys in the cool offices, wherever the hell they're at, in these nice, clean, cool offices with AC, and they have a little refrigerator in the office. They can grab their little cafe crap and put it on their desk and act like they're doing something important. They're not out there like us doing the mail. Holy shit. And they're telling us and making promises to the American people that they can successfully deliver all this mail. My own package that I just mailed out to Miami. Check this out. I didn't print this out yet. I'm going to though. Oh, you're going to love this one. It left from Fort Lauderdale, went up to Opa-locka, which is up north for me, for those that don't live in Florida. Went up to Opa-locka, right? From Opa-locka, it went down to Miami. Cool. It's on time. Try again, dumbass. Now it's back in Opa-locka. Are you kidding me? It was already in Miami. Why is it in Opa-locka again? But no, I delivered 2,000 packages out of that same station. Well, that was the alleged claim, right? But they didn't file that with OPM. They filed the HOAP. Oh, Jesus Christ. Lord have mercy. They're lucky I'm not their district manager. That's all I'm going to say. They're delaying the damn mail and trying to blame other people. Last live session we had, last Sunday, I talked about a package from Colombia. You marked it and delivered it as delivered to an agent, individual, whatever, and the guy lives in Colombia, 1,500 miles away. Explain that one to me. You're still doing dirtbag stuff in my station, and then you're still trying to make me look like I'm the bad guy? Really? Come on, man. Anybody with a connected brainstem could put those connections together. Anyway, back to the brothers and sisters. My heart goes out to their families, especially the widow of the fiance that passed away in that machine in Michigan, down in Texas, his family as well. My heart goes out to you guys. I wish I was in a better position to help, but I can't even help myself right now. I'm trying to keep afloat myself. But if you know these individuals, just give them a call, check on their family, make sure they're okay if they don't need anything. Believe it or not, a gallon of milk in this time will actually help them. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is helpful, you know? Just a shoulder to cry on, anything right now. If you know them personally, then do that, you know? Please and thank you, okay? Yeah, this job. Did you guys read that post the agency put out about the first gentleman in Michigan, the maintenance worker? It was so cold. I read that thing and I was so fucking pissed. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I'm not even going to try to censor it now. I was fucking heated. This woman just lost the love of her life. Oh, we're sorry they passed away, but operations are normal. We're good. Yeah, everything's good here. Nothing to see. Fucking dirtbags. I'm disgusted. Thank God I'm getting out. That's terrible. Ugh. You call my wife with that shit, you'd see a whole new devil. I'm not even going to go into that. I'm going to leave that shit alone. Anyway. Guys, all postal employees, regardless of your level, deserve to be treated like humans, treated like people. You deserve to work in safe conditions where you can work safely. You know, in Montana, there used to be a banner in the distribution center where I worked at. We work safely to go home safely. What happened to that? They used to tell us that shit every day. You work safely to go home safely. You got someone at home waiting for you. Hey, Lino, what's up? Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, where did that go? What happened to that? Safe conditions. We all deserve to work in an environment that's safe. Safe for us, our coworkers, our brothers and sisters, our constituents in the EAS craft, EAS sector like myself, executive and administrative schedulers. Okay? No, don't worry about it, bro. We covered a couple of ELM policies and stuff that on stuff that came up. A couple messages I got in Facebook Messenger. You're good. We all deserve to be treated fairly. Everybody. I don't care who you are. I don't even care if you're the janitor. Respect. When did they forget that shit? It's subhuman the way they're talking to people now. Respect, which was the next thing on the list. Respect. They have none. But then they want to sit here and collude in back offices while they're drinking their little coffees and shit and go on meetings and act like they're fucking Gandhi. If y'all guys saw my last short, I put a lot of love into that one. Because I meant every fucking word of it. Nope. That's what you think. Remember that. Okay. The right to medical accommodations. We deserve that. It's not a request. It's the law. We're not asking you for shit. It's what we're entitled to as employees. We're entitled to that. And these people play God and they don't want to give us our rights. Don't let them. Arm yourself, guys. Come on. Remember the things I teach you. It's not a lot because we have limited time, but whatever I do teach you, if it applies to you, run with it. It'll save you. I'm telling you, save me. Relief when you're injured. We lost two people. Their families are going to need help. If you live near them and you can help your brother. Be your brother's keeper, your sister's keeper. I know time will pass and people will move on with their lives because that's just the way life is. But for now, while those widows are grieving and those families are grieving, do what you can to help them. Just to get by. Life will continue and they'll figure it out from there. The most important thing we all need is protection. We need protection from our superiors. We need protection for one another. We need protection from one another. And I'll elaborate each one. Protection from our superiors. No one has the right to belittle you, to retaliate against you, to manipulate your time, to steal your wages. No one has that right. Just like no one has the right to not deposit cash on delivery notices when that was left in the drawer. No one has that right. But people do it anyway, right? Okay. No one has the right to stop you from speaking up. Protection for one another. We got to look out for each other like we're doing right now. The more of us that speak out, the more of us that start channels, the more of us that go on Facebook Live, the more of us that just do something. Listen, let's keep it real. We know they ain't changing a damn thing, but at least we bring awareness to it and we let the public know what they're doing, because the public don't know. Got a friend of mine told me today, he works in SSA. It was a nightmare for him. Just because the government opened up on paper, they're already calling for stuff. It's like the man hasn't even gotten paid yet. People, wake up, man. Those workers are suffering just like you. They haven't been paid since September. They're trying to keep that shit on the low. Our government is dirtbags. They fought for 40 days, 43 days for nothing. I'm going to leave that one right there. Protection from one another. Because, and I hate to use that term, but because some of our brothers and sisters are overzealous and full of ambition. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's unlawful. Yeah, you can record. Yeah. So, yeah, I know about the Stericycle standard, Lino. I haven't dove too much in it, but yes, in a short nutshell, if you're going into an issue where a manager is doing something unlawfully, you can record it. Yeah. They tell you don't record, don't this, don't that. It's true, you're not supposed to, but that's the gray area. And if I'm not mistaken, the National Labor Relations Board ruled in favor of the unions and stuff for that too. Yeah, by policy. Yeah, it's a contradiction of the law. I agree. So you have what is called corporate law, and then you have federal law or HR law. Okay. So we talked about that earlier, Lino. Corporate law and HR law. So that Stericycle issue falls into that HR law side. Yeah. So yeah, he's 100% correct. You can record, especially if your managers are conducting illegal activity. Because again, if I didn't document my paperwork the way I did, I would have nothing. And always take a steward with you. Yeah. Or another, believe it or not, it doesn't even matter if it's a steward. It could be another worker, another craft employee as a witness. Someone that's willing to witness it. Because these people will turn around and flip the script and lie. They did it to me. Luckily, I have paperwork. Paperwork don't lie. People do. Remember that. So protection from one another. And I hate to say it like that, but that's the world we're living in right now. You guys will learn who you can trust, who you can talk to, who's honest, and who's bullshitting. Always prepare, like Scipio said. Know your rights, like Lino said. Take a steward or someone with you that's willing to witness and sign the document, like Tina said. And always cover your ass. Don't leave nothing to chance. For my fellas out there, don't let a beautiful smile screw you. Don't. For my ladies out there, don't let a strapping man do the same. Because they do that shit. I got another quick story before we close out. So this is happening in another acronym agency right now. Got a call from a buddy of mine who works in another agency, as I said. And this is the gentleman I told you about earlier that is a union representative. His organization called him to go up to an office that was about an hour and change away. He drives up there to do a training or whatever. Apparently, there was an issue with the manager there. 6 people were fired from that office for sexual harassment with the manager. So the first time, maybe second time, all right. From my understanding, this female manager was well endowed and she wore inappropriate clothing to work. That's not the reason that I'm not justifying the behavior, but some of the things that was being told to me was a little weird. Like the manager leaning over men. You expect them not to turn around and look? You're leaning over their shoulder. This individual is like basically setting people up, and women too. She was doing it to women too, to fire them. So basically, she's sent there to fire people. Yeah. So, guys, don't let a pretty face screw you. They always do. Gals, same thing. I just finished telling you a woman was doing the same thing to another woman. Don't let a beautiful person manipulate you either. Because they do it, they're doing this stuff, and it's terrible. Just terrible. I'm going to leave that there. I think it's important that we all know what's happening. Because even though we're in different agencies, we all work for the Fed. We're all brothers and sisters, just indirectly. They do one job, we do another. We deal with the mail, they deal with Social Security, or they deal with TSA or DHS or even the White House. But we're all brothers and sisters. Keep that in mind. If it's happening there, it could happen here. That's the reason why I mentioned it to you guys. Okay. We're going to close out. If you're a postal employee dealing with OWCP issues, CA1, CA2 filings, FMLA, RA, or retaliation, document everything. Get copies of your time cards if you can. Make sure you got copies of your 3971s. Make sure you get your medical records. And most of all, protect yourself. Because if you don't, they will take advantage of you. And again, I said this twice, I'm going to say it one more time. Not all managers do that. Some managers are forced to because their bosses force them to. And that's normally an understanding to an extent. Because again, if your boss tells you to do something that violates the law, it's a violation to the elm. We talked about that a few days ago. Like violating your 650 rights or your 651 rights. That's a violation to the elm. It's like 430 something, I believe it was, or 464, something like that. We talked about that last live on Sunday. But yeah, that's kind of what I have for you guys today. Thank you all for coming. Oh, before I go, I couldn't find a speaker for next Sunday. So my wife volunteered to speak to the women and the men who's married, dating, or otherwise engaged with a postal service employee. Sometimes we as postal service employees, we like to say our partners don't understand what we're going through. They don't work there. They're not dealing with the stress. How can you possibly understand? You will never understand because you never worked there. You don't know what I'm going through. That's the mental health thing we were talking about earlier. Our partners, if they're in love with you or really close to you, they don't even have to be in love with you. They could be really close to you, like building that bond with you. They feel everything we feel. And we forget that sometimes because we're angry. We're disgruntled. We're pissed off at everything we're going through. Guys, gals, brothers, sisters, managers, craft workers, your partners care. And I had to learn that because I was one of those too. I used to say the same thing. So my wife felt it was important to come on and interview with me, and I will ask her questions. Nothing script. We're just going to talk, kind of casual conversation. And she's going to tell you guys what she goes through based on those questions. I think it's important. It won't be too long, you know. Same thing like we always do. The struggles are real. Good night. Take care, Tina. Thank you for coming. Yeah, but Sunday, my wife Jessica will be interviewing with me because I couldn't find anybody, and she volunteered on her own. I didn't even ask her. That was nice of her. So yeah, hopefully we'll learn something from that. All right, guys, thanks a lot for coming. I hope you learned something. Take care. Remember, if you can help a brother or sister in need, do that. Doesn't take much time. Just go ahead and do it. A call can save someone's life, believe it or not. Pick up that phone. If you ain't heard from somebody in your job in a while and you're close to that person, you guys work next to one another in in carriers, pick up that phone and call them. See how you doing. Check on them. Stop by their house. Bring them a beer. It helps. Trust me. All right, guys. Have a good night. Take care.